to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe to toe with me on that?
Like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Yes, guys, good evening. Welcome back to the Spurs Five. How has your weekend been? I'm sure it's been divisive. As ever, as a Tottenham fan, there's never one nor the other. There's always something to debate in between. And of course, on the Spurs Five, we like to do that reasonably. Last week, on Thursday, Stel took his cooking with good grace. And he's been saying to me all weekend that we're all getting cooked tonight. Now, of course, as the host of the show, the man with the controls, and of course, a newly positioned middle of the ground, neither here nor there, I am uncookable. I am uncookable. I am like a leather jacket. Not a lot you can do with me, apart from wear it. So it's over to Stel to see how he gets on with cooking Johnny and Lubo this evening. I'm going to be sitting there pushing the buttons and winding people up. Guys, welcome back. Please do smash the like button for me. And for all of us, if you enjoy the video, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the march to, I forget what we're on the march to. Is it 27K? I forget. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let us know all of your thoughts throughout the show. Please keep the chat respectful. Mods do your modding. They have to mod, as you know. And also, guys, this is available. This show is available. Straight after this, it's going to be available on all of your favourite podcast platforms. Apple Pods, Amazon Pods, and Spotify, where you can watch it back. So if you are into that sort of thing, then please do follow us over there and give us a rating as well. Would really appreciate it. Let's find out how everyone's doing before we get into tonight's show. Johnny, how are you, mates? You okay?
Fine. Shall I refer to you now as Chef Ramsay? Shall I call you now? You're in charge, and you're not taking any shit off of anybody. Yeah.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Chef. We're on the pass at the moment. And I'll pass on to Lubo in a minute. Yeah, all good. Recovered from the weekend. Some good football on the weekend for the neutral fan, I think. It is what it is. There are worse clubs with bigger problems than us right now, I figure. Considering all the drama that we've got surrounding the club on the pitch, I think it could be a lot worse. So, yeah, I will. No one likes going into the international break, though. No fan of any club having not won. But we've managed to 2 games on the trot without losing before an international break, which is a tradition that we've had for far too long. Lubo, over to you, son.
Yeah, no, I hope everyone likes this Michelin-style podcast now. That's how we're branding ourselves. Well, we didn't lose, did we?
No.
And we played at home.
Yeah.
So things are improving.
Oh, is that the way to be looking at this? Is that the way to be approaching a game of football against the dustiest of dusty teams in Manchester United? Well, we didn't lose. That's good enough. Settings.
Sean, we started the weekend before the league fixtures in 6th and we finished in 5th. And that, at the moment, with the coefficient, is a Champions League spot. So,
for crying
it's 2
out loud,
points separating 3rd from about 15th in the league, Johnny, Lubo. It's ridiculous.
We're 8 off the top and 8 off the relegation zone. That's how tight it is this season. But you know what? I'd rather be where we are than where 15 other clubs are. So,
exactly, Lubo. You tell them.
It's true. Good to see you, Lubo. Good to see you, Johnny. Stel, fresh from your cooking on Thursday. How are you feeling? You on the chefs? You on the tools tonight?
It's on the chef's table.
I'm the head chef. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Subscribe, like in the comments. Get your super chats in. Get your comments in. Sean, you do not get a free pass tonight because you predicted a Man United win, and I'd like to remind you, your boy Moani in front of goal yet again. We will talk about it tonight, though. You do not get a free pass. No chance.
No,
Sorry.
if you're going to come at me for, I don't know how it's my boy Moani. It's more Johnny's boy Moani. If we're being honest, but
Come on,
if
mate.
you're going to talk about who my boys are,
score against Man United, I said he's rubbish in front of goal.
We got a mutiny in the kitchen here.
Hang on a second. I'm going to come at him with a kitchen knife, right? Hang on a minute. Moani is fucking shit. Moani, you signed him. Listen.
Yeah. What did he do against Man United?
Hang on.
What
hang
did
on.
he do?
Hang on a second. Welcome, Harry Maguire, elbow to the fucking jaw. Sorry, mate.
Before he got elbowed, what did he do?
Mate,
he got elbowed in the 10th minute.
Odegaard and Tell did more in 15 minutes than Moani did for all the minutes he was on the pitch.
Right,
sorry, who did more? Who did more?
Odegaard and Tell.
My Odegaard, and you mean my Tell?
That doesn't deflect from Moani, right? Listen, we will discuss all these players. Another deflected goal from Tell. Well done. Another deflected effort.
Still, joking aside, come on, mate. I said straight that I jumped up when that happened, and I said, "Why is there no VAR?" It was the oldest one in the book from the 70s and 80s, straight out the Wimbledon playbook. Who's the danger? Take him out the game. Elbow to the face, off the ball, right? Yep. Off the ball. And he was on that ground, and I knew straight away there was a problem. And you could see he was struggling with that for the rest of the time. But when he came off at half time, they said, oh, he's taking him off because he was shit. I said, there was more to it. I said, he's injured. No one was having it. Now he's out for 8 weeks with a broken jaw. So, I'm not going to have that he was shit after that.
Before that knock, he did nothing.
It was the knock happened in the 10th minute, Stel.
10 minutes, Stel.
So why has he stayed on the pitch then?
Because he tried to battle it out, mate.
And we paid the price for that. We paid the price for him wanting to stay on the pitch then.
Well, we didn't actually, still, because we only had one.
We did. We went 1-0 down.
Hang on. That wasn't down to Moani, and the only attack we had that was decent was Johnson's cross, which he forgot to put his head on. So,
they had one shot on target.
We were down to 10 men from the 10th minute, if we're going to go by your logic. And after that 10th minute, we went.
Oh, how you can blame Moani? He's played on, mate.
I'm blaming the fact
in this day and age where they go off with that. Oh, my shoulder hurt. Oh, my finger hurt.
Johnny, you can't on the one hand defend him for being taken off because he's injured, but yet his injury that he stubbornly stayed on the pitch for meant that we were down to 10 men. The reason he played bad in the first half is because he's injured. Then you've cost us for making us play with 10 men effectively.
Strange logic, mate. Honestly,
I'm using your logic.
You want to cook a guy for getting smashed in the face and trying to carry on in the game.
I don't blame him for being injured, and I don't blame for him going off because he's injured. But if you are injured, then you've chosen to stay on the pitch. So either do something. What Heung-Min Son had a broken arm and he scored a goal against Aston Villa away. That's the difference. He stayed on the pitch and we went 1-0 down.
Mate,
hang on. Because obviously you got smashed in the face, a broken jaw. You may not know it's a broken jaw. I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Like the logic states if you're not feeling it, get off the pitch, right? Because I think Stel's making a logical point. But with adrenaline, sometimes you think you can run it off. Other times, it's in your jaw. It's not going to affect how you run necessarily. But obviously, at half time, he's been asked a question. Someone's had a look at him, given him the, one of those, and then gone, maybe this is a problem.
Okay, so whilst it wasn't a problem, he did nothing in that first half. Absolutely.
No one else did as well, though. Nobody. The first half was.
But no one else was bigging up the other players. We know they're not good. No one here has bigged up Johnson and Richarlison, but Moani's been given a lot of love. He's going to score goals. Do you know what?
Okay, so here's what I would say. Here's what I will say then. The strategy, the tactic.
Getting receipts from you, mate, when he comes back.
Johnny, but do you know what? By the time he comes back another 8 weeks, we're well over half a season. He would have played half a season for Spurs, having scored nothing. Nothing.
Well, he won't have played half a season. He'll have been a Tottenham employee for half a season, but he would have played about 90 minutes of football.
3 games.
Fine. He's been at Spurs for half a season, some injured, some not injured, but he's not done anything.
3 games.
He hasn't scored any goals. He hasn't scored any goals.
Still, we haven't even seen Takai yet in the squad.
Listen, I'm talking about Moani because everyone told. Look, I like Moani. I think he's a good player. Personally, I think we should play him out left. I think we should play him out wide.
He
Instead
did
of
try
Odegaard?
out left. He did.
Well,
he did.
I've been
Hang on a
championing
second,
for
still.
Odegaard.
No. See,
Hold on.
you've just handed over the chef tools to me. For the last month, you've been saying about as positive as we can get out of you is to say give Odegaard an extended run of games on the left-hand side, and tonight you're saying play him out on the left.
Change that. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is if we're going to play Moani, I think he's better suited out wide.
Ahead of Odegaard.
Well, personally, I think Odegaard should be given a run in the game, and I've been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks. I've never budged from that.
Or what position? Or whereabouts?
Listen, if we're going to play with the front three, I think Moani, the way he plays, I think he's more of an inside forward, where he can pick the ball up out wide and invert, as opposed to be the sole number 9. I don't look at him and think you're a number 9. He reminds me of those typical French players like a Trezeguet and Henry, slim, tall, good technique, that is better out wide coming in.
If it's a fraction of Henry, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, I'm giving an example of players that were French, tall, technical, but played wide and inverted. And I think Moani is of that mould. I don't look at Moani and think you are an out-and-out striker. I can see
he can play off of the flanks and invert. I can hear that. He could play with the striker.
That's what I'm saying. Because I don't think in front of goal he's the answer. Then again, nobody is at the moment. So
yeah, I think every single player at Tottenham who plays up top seems to want to be an inside forward. Most of them off the left. Very few of them can do it. We need someone to play in the 9. And we're going to come to that. We're going to spend a little bit more time talking about injuries in a different segment of the show. But I do also want to focus, just for the time being, on the Manchester United game, not fully on Kolo Moani. Obviously, Kolo Moani is part of this problem. But for me, I thought that the starting 11 was wrong. And I thought that the setup of the team was wrong. I did criticise Thomas Frank for many things on Saturday afternoon. One of them was the criticism of leaving Richarlison on the pitch and taking Kolo Moani off. I didn't know then what I know now. I had no idea there was an injury. I had no idea there was an incident. I don't remember seeing it on TNT. So I retract that part of my criticism, because obviously now with that knowledge, it makes more sense. But I still felt like the team was set up incorrectly, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, guys. I feel like Tottenham Hotspur was set up more fearful of Manchester United's threats against us than the threats that we could pose them. And
was it Man United's though, Shaw? Just to counter that, were Manchester United, who normally play 3 at the back, seemed to have started with 4 at the back, and in some cases it was 5 at the back in a line in that first half, and it looked to me like we negated each other. I mean, they had one shot in the entire first half, of which we more or less gifted them, twice or 3 times, and we didn't have one shot on goal. It felt like we cancelled each other out. It was almost checkmate on the pitch. It was just shit.
Yeah, it didn't need to be that way though. Before the game played itself, listen, Manchester United are bang average. Everyone waxing lyrical about their comeback, the resurgence, because they beat 3 teams. Yes, they went through a bit of form, but they're still a dusty team in my opinion. And at home, you have to, against very occasional teams, you have to sit there and recognise the obvious golfing class or the supremacy of one team over the other. Man United are not one of those teams. And to play Jed Spence, which then, in my opinion, means that if you're going to play Jed Spence, you then don't necessarily need to play Odegaard, because the Odegaard value is in the chemistry that Udogie can provide him, etc. But if you're playing Jed Spence, it's an assumption, it's an acknowledgement that you're more concerned about players like Mbumo than you are what you can do to players like Mazraoui. And I thought that it was a massively poor statement from Thomas Frank, once again at home, that setting up not to lose was more important than trying to win.
I have to agree with that. I'm very pro Frank. I think he's doing a really good job. But I've got to agree that there was, having seen Udogie and Odegaard in recent weeks playing down that left, for me, he should have started. And you saw the difference in the team when those two came on. Odegaard came on, I think, on 46, and Udogie was on 69, I think. Different 60th minute, different class.
Udogie came on at 46, did you say?
Odegaard came on at half time.
Odegaard, yeah. No, sorry, I thought you meant Udogie.
for Moani, and for me, it looked so much better. And what was great was seeing Odebear take on his fullback in the last 15, 20 minutes and skin him every single time. And this is what we've been wanting Odebear to do. No, you're going like this. Sorry, I mentioned him a little while ago, Sean.
No. Sorry, I was doing this to the comment.
Oh, the comment. Sean is Frank out. No, Sean.
Not to you, Lubo. Not to you.
No. Sean is Enoch out. Let's get that straight. It's not Frank out.
I'm new Nick Doubt is what I am. I'm new Nick Doubt. There you go. That better. Meet you in the middle.
For me, my Odebear is doing well.
Your Odebear. Behave.
He's really coming through. Listen,
Sean,
I'll share Odebear with you. I'll say half of my Odebear. You didn't share your chairman with me, did you?
Tell's the big question mark is over Tell. I don't think anyone's doubting Odebear's talent. None of us.
Some people are.
I think
very much are. Some people have their opinions.
I thought we've got the worst attacking lineup in the history of Tottenham.
Tell is terrible, in my opinion. At this present moment, Tell is terrible. I thought basically the game changed, though, guys, when their most influential person in the middle of the park, Casemiro, went off. That final 20 minutes when he went off, Casemiro was absolutely bossing the game in the middle of the park. We were getting nothing. The game changed when he went off and we made our substitutions and we looked like a different team.
They also went down to 10 men with 10 men.
No, I'm just saying, you look at the gameplay, watch it back. Casemiro, when Casemiro plays, Man United are a different team to when he plays and when he doesn't play. Controls the tempo and everything, moves the ball, is in transitions. And he was very, very good. I mean, I know most of us are watching the Spurs team, but for me, he was having an excellent game in the middle of the park until he went down injured. And then when he went down, we took control of the middle of the park. I felt they didn't have any answers. Mason Mount came on and to replace him, didn't do anything. We played right through him. Look, I think there's pluses and minuses to everything. You know, Odebear was a plus. Matches Tell scoring a goal was a plus, even though it was a deflected goal, because confidence breeds confidence. But there were lots of negatives. We saw the old Cuti Romero see red after we conceded the goal. Him and Mickey van der Ven were screaming at Papa Sarr. He then makes a shocking challenge that, had he connected a bit more, could have been a red. You know, we saw lots of positives. We saw lots of negatives. We saw Pedro Porro have an absolute stinker, and it just got worse. And it got worse. He couldn't cross the ball, couldn't throw a ball, couldn't defend a ball.
Yeah, what's going on there, Johnny? Do you think it's just overworked? Is he tired?
Yeah. Listen, before the game, I said, right, my team was Jed Spence on the right-hand side, Dogie on the left, and then Odebear on the left. And I would have dropped Brennan Johnson for sure. Wouldn't have been playing Brennan Johnson. And I would have been playing Pedro Porro on the right wing. And I wouldn't have needed him to keep beating his man. What's name never beats his man, that's for sure, Brennan Johnson. But what Pedro Porro can do, a bit like a Perisic, he doesn't need to always beat his man to whip the ball in. And I felt like we would have had a lot more defensive solidarity down that right-hand side without being defensive. But it wasn't to be. I wasn't happy with the lineup, if I'm brutally honest. But, you know, it is what it is.
He's never going to be that risk taker, is he, Frank, at the moment?
I don't think he can afford to be just now, do you think?
Well, no, in terms of playing Porro down the right and Spencer right back.
Johnson.
Which makes sense. I mean, listen, we played with 8 men in the first half. If Moani's been done in because of his jaw and you've got Richarlison and Johnson there, we are in effect playing with 8 men. That's where we are. So for me, at the Emirates, I'd be playing a front three, hopefully, of Kudus, Tell and Odebear. For me, no question about it. I wouldn't have. He won't play that. He'll play Richarlison.
Odebear where? Sorry,
on the left,
and Tell in the 9,
and Tell as the 9.
Right. Did you know that Xavi has played 11 games as a centre forward and apparently has 6 goals and 4 assists? Apparently,
I worry about Xavi at the Emirates. I think he might physically. I think they'll steamroller over him.
Yeah, fucking Rice. They'll just lean on him.
That's right.
Yeah.
And can I ask you, whoever's looking after, whoever runs, he's got his boots or is watching him. Can someone get him a pair of fucking studs? I've never seen a guy slip over as many times as him. Just Stell, have you ever seen anyone? He's constantly slipping over. His legs doing akimbo, mate. Wear some proper studs.
Sorry, Stell. I've just seen this in the background. I just wanted to bring this up. This is a WhatsApp of you saying, if we do not beat United, if we do not beat Man United, I am going to cook every single one of you, and I expect Perchmeister to be creating similar thumbnails, is it, or similar clips?
Yeah.
Stell, you took it like a champion, mate. You took it like a champion. To be honest, that was my fault. Perchy said, I can only find a couple of clips. What do you think? And I said, there's probably another one in there.
Look at Perchy's reply. And when we win, not if, when we win, it's a second cooking session. Where are you, Perchy? Where are you? I want a clip of me calling you out, Perchy.
Can I ask you, was Stell in the chat, was Stell the only Spurs fan at the stadium who cheered when the 97th minute goal went in from Matthew De Ligt, so he was right and he didn't have to face the criticism today?
With all due respect, all the other Spurs fans were busy booing. So at least I'm not in the booing camp. Do you know what? Do you know what? That booing in that stadium is so fucking toxic, man.
Terrible, isn't it? Terrible.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
It's just.
At least he didn't do this, Stell. When the subs actually made an impact, unlike our old manager giving Chelsea.
Nah, listen. For me, there's a couple of things from this game. I said all along we wouldn't win because at home we've got an issue, and Man United away from home they've got an issue, and in the end we nullified each other. That first half was absolutely rubbish from both teams. I was so bored out of my mind watching that game, and do you know what? I can't help but think we hounded Conte out of this club, right? We, as a fan base, we hounded him out of this club. And I backed Conte to the end. All the Tottenham away boys, to be fair, did. We were the only channel that did. And we hounded him out because the football was, as a lot of fans called it, turgid. His football's turgid. And we hounded him out, yet he got us top four and left us top four. Frank's here. Listen, I'll be honest with you guys, whether it's down to injuries, whether it's down to him, whatever the reason. So far, the football under Frank, for me, is just boring as hell.
But yeah, Kane and Son. Conte
also had the worst midfield I've ever seen. And we never signed Paulinias and Kudus's and Moani's. We signed Danjumas and Longlays. So you can counter it.
Well, that was at the end, mate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Højbjerg, Kane, Son.
The football under Frank is fucking boring, man.
It's horrendous football.
And I don't mind that because I backed Conte when the football was boring on the basis that I believed he could take us forward if backed. Okay, we didn't want to back him. He turned on the club as well. He wanted out. But the point is, we've hounded many a manager out for crap football. Right now, the football is crap. I'm not saying hound Frank out because every manager deserves a season. But I'm just saying the football's boring and he is too cautious for me. I do think he plays too cautious. He might have 100%. Good reasons for it. And whilst we're in the top six, the argument's going to be, but look, we're top six, calm yourself down. That's going to be the counter argument. But as a spectacle, he seems to be allowed to play crap football whilst all previous other managers got absolutely ruined by this fan base. That's one thing that just, I was thinking about it in the terraces during the game, thinking, you know, this is crap. And we're accepting it. I do think that the starting lineup was wrong. And I do think that if you're going to be at home, there was a moment where Xavi Simons got the ball. He's driving down the middle. He's surrounded by 3 red shirts. And every Spurs fan's thinking, pass it, release it. He looked around, no runners.
And who was right behind him? Who was right behind him still?
I can't remember.
Pape Sarr and Bentancur. Neither of them. It was so clear. It was so clear that they weren't. Sorry, I got Bentancur. Polinia and Sarr.
They're told to hold back.
I keep saying that. I keep making those mistakes.
They're told to hold back.
They are told to hold back. 100%.
No, I can see it. And this is what I meant about when I said on previous shows, the passage of play needs to change. And we're not going to get the best out of Simons until we change that passage of play. And that game for me was so evident. I don't think Xavi Simons was as wow as people made him out to be. There was no outcomes. There was no killer passes. There was no assists. There was no shots on goal. However, when he got on the ball, his touch, his play, you could see his brain is thinking the right things. But to the left and right, there wasn't the same intellectual football wavelength happening.
You've got Brennan Johnson, Brennan Johnson's awful, can't do anything.
Johnson was walking. Johnson was walking up the wing. Mate, and this is what I mean.
But can I ask you, Stel, just to throw in here, Stel?
Yeah.
How many, forget the 11, how many of that 10, right, would you say that 30% of the 10 that are out right now would make a big difference to how we play up front? Like, for example, if we had a Solanke, if we had a Kulu, just 2 of those.
Kulu,
right?
Madison.
No, just 2. Just
Mohamed
2.
Kudus. I think they definitely link up better with Xavi Simons. There's no
3.
doubt.
Right. We'll take 3. We just say Kudus.
Kudus has been a part of the team, Johnny, until the last.
But Johnny, hold on,
mate. You're saying that
the thing is though. But Johnny, the thing is though, we don't have those players, so you've got to go to an alternative. And for me, if we're going to be a bit more attacking, Adogi has to play. And I repeat, can we just stick with one left winger and just stick at it and stick at it and stick at it? Even if they have a bad game.
You just stuck Moani out left.
If you're going to play Moani, I think his best position will be left wing. But I've got no issue, and I've said it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Just play Odebert there and let the coach coach. You can't coach a player unless they play matches. You can do whatever you want at the training pitch, but you've got to let them express that on the football pitch in a match. Even if he has a bad game, that's fine. Coach him as to why it was bad. Set challenges to rectify the next game. But what we do is, he plays, we pull him out. He plays, we pull him out. And it's things like that that affects us on the attack, because the front line, there's too much chopping and changing. We just need to stick with one set of players.
We got a choice.
Hang on a second. We've got to just be... Thomas Frank.
I'm not saying stick with the exact same lot every week.
I agree with you. I agree with you on Odebert. Odebert should have played. If the narrative is that Johnny and a lot of people want to make out that we can't do any better than what we have, right? I don't buy it for a second. I'm sorry, it's a load of nonsense.
No, I didn't
By the
say
way,
be better.
Johnny, let me finish my point, mate. Let me finish my point. By the way, kudos to the football club for creating enough depth in our squad where we have 11 players out injured, and we can still have someone like Johnson, who, whether we like him or hate him, I know he's a divisive player. He was our top goal scorer last year and scored in the Champions League final. A Brazilian number 9 on the left wing, right? And a £55 million, one of the top kids around Europe a couple of years ago, Xavi Simons, and a Kolo Moani, who was a £90 million striker. 11 players out, or 10 players out injured, and we've still got that amount of depth at the top end of the pitch where we've already got 5 players out. First of all, kudos to the football club for putting that depth in. If we did have a full strength squad, it would be quite incredible, the amount of options. I don't think we have any superstars in there. We need a few more. I think we definitely need a few more superstars. But just on the specifics of the system, if the idea is, well, you've got Johnson because you've got no Kudus. And by the way, if we're saying that the reason why we can't play attacking football is because we haven't got Kudus, what has been the excuse for the previous 9 games where he has been there? Because we haven't played attacking football at all this season. So this Kudus absence thing is a new thing. It doesn't explain the prior defensive football. Almost done, Johnny.
Right.
But you've got Johnson, and Richarlison, and you've got Kolo Moani who you can't get the ball to. There's a by design to sit there and make Sarr and Palini and not go ahead of Xavi Simons. Xavi gets quote unquote stinker and hooked every game, but what is he supposed to do when he's got absolutely no support from the players behind him by design, and he has players on the wings that can't take a player on, and a striker who in this particular game is getting crowded out by 3 centre-backs? One of the solutions, to Stell's point, is that you play to what you do have, and unless you sit there and you're going, well, I can't do any better than what we have, so let's just sacrifice the entire intent to go and score a goal, why not play the more attacking of the 2 fullbacks, Destiny Udogie? Why not play the more attacking of the wingers who has the chemistry to be able to break some sort of semblance of a breakdown of a defensive block in Odegaard? The fact we didn't do it, again, goes back to my point that Thomas Frank saw Manchester United as being far too much of a threat for us to do anything other than defensive harimble. And to me, I think it's absolutely outrageous. And I think it personally stems from Thomas Frank still being Brentford settings, where he thinks a point against Manchester United, dusty old United at home, is a good result. And by the way, he spoke to that after the game. He said, we played really well and it's a really good point. What are we doing here? Sorry, it's unacceptable to me to keep playing that sort of football.
Frank out. Listen, if you don't think that this team would be better with having a fit Solanke or a fit 2 or 3 of the 10, forget the 11, the 10 that are out, you can clearly see, even if you had a Kulu and a Solanke and a Kudos with Xavi, that's going to be better. Even a Kulu and Xavi will be better. We are linked, right? I can't listen to the fact. Look, when I watched that Chelsea game, right, I was as pissed off as anybody else. That Chelsea game reminded me of AC Milan, Conte game, AC Milan. We're 1 down, and what do? We bring on defenders, right? That's how mad I felt that day, and that's how mad I was in the Chelsea game. So I understand the outrage and some of the feelings towards how we're playing at the moment. But to say there is no reason at all for not being offensive and not scoring hatfuls of goals and playing exciting football, when we've got most of our exciting attackers and our creative talent off the pitch. I do believe if we had a Kulu and Kudos...
Johnny, that doesn't excuse what's happening with the current players.
30% better.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse that. That doesn't excuse the fact that what we're doing with the current players. Richarlison starts on the left.
Right, so you want Richarlison dropped. Right.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
In what world, in any manager's head, is starting Richarlison on the left over Odegaard make any sense whatsoever when we know Odegaard is a manager? Right. Well,
so you drop Richarlison. Everyone wants Richarlison dropped, and they want Scarlett.
But we're saying
majority.
But the argument, I'm trying to tell you, the argument is we're going to be much better when these players come back. I don't disagree. Yeah. But with the players we've got now, in what world does it make sense to start Richarlison on the left when you've got Odegaard fit? In what world does it make sense to keep playing Johnson on the right when he can't play well on the right? He never plays well on the right. He has a stinker every time he plays on the right. If you're going to play him like Nottingham Forest did, down the middle behind the striker. That's the only place he played.
Behind what striker?
Well, Moani started, didn't he?
Richie or Moani or whoever.
In this game just now. And you don't.
Johnny, in the game just now, he could have gone Johnson behind Moani. He could have started Odegaard out on the left. He could have pushed Porro further up the pitch and played.
Who are you playing against Arsenal?
The point I'm trying to make it. We'll get on that in a minute. We're changing the subject here. The point I'm trying to make is we could have got more from an attacking phase with the players we have than what we did with that starting lineup. That's what I'm trying to say. But we don't do it. We go to the same type every time. Odegaard gets hooked. Richarlison, he has to start no matter what now. Johnson, no matter how bad he is, keep playing him on the right. Porro, who we know isn't having a good season at right back, but we know he's not too bad further up the pitch. We never play him there. Xavi's always left isolated. I just think there is a better way of setting up the team with a different team selection that gets more from the attacking phase.
100%.
I'm not saying this is the answer for Tottenham going forward, because it's not. But for now, until the transfer window opens and until we get some players back, I just think there's a better way to set up.
You do realise Man United went defensive, right? You know, they changed their structure and went defensive, right? Okay, at the back, right? They played 4 at the back. And you also know that Richarlison played left wing in the final, just for clarity.
The worst final we've ever seen.
I'm just saying to you,
in the history of football finals.
He played there a lot for Ange.
He's not good at it, is he? He's not good.
Especially when you have, he can't take a player on. He can barely trap a bag of cement. He's got trampoline
No one can
foot
take
most
a
of the
player on
time.
except for
And on the
Odegaard.
right-hand side, you have Johnson, who's equally as bad as taking a player on. If you've lost Kudus, who is our outlet, and you have to play Johnson or you have to replace Kudus with someone, why would you make the same decision around a tactical pivot on the left where you'd put on a player? You're basically saying, fuck the width.
Oh, I said get rid of Johnson, didn't I? And play Pedro Porro on the wing. And
right. Okay. So you're acknowledging that. So that's fine. We all have different opinions on how it looks, but we can all agree that the setup at the moment, yes, it's forced. He's forced into difficult situations and few options because we have an unbelievably long injury list as usual at Tottenham. But there are other ways that he can go about it, and the way that he's going about it is dedicating us into playing absolutely horrendous football at home against a team that we've had the betterment of for the last, in fact, any team from Manchester. We own Manchester. Yet on Saturday, we were set up like they were Real Madrid. And they weren't. You're right, Johnny. They did go defensive. And that's why it became an absolute stalemate of a ball fest for 85 minutes. It was only when Man United went down to 10 men because they ran out of substitutions that the game opened up.
He's played.
I think Amorim got it wrong as well. By the way,
he played back all season. Since he's come there, he said, "I'm dying on this hill. I will always be 3 at the back." And he came here and he's playing 4 and 5 at the back.
Well, 3 at the back and 5 at the back are the same thing. It's just
5 in a line, mate. He was having it.
But that's what they dropped to 5 at the back when they don't have the ball anyway. It's what most teams do.
It was like, and look how deep Casemiro was sat in the.
Johnny, there were some positives from this game from my perspective as well. The fact that we came back from a 1-0 deficit to get into a winning position, I thought was very good because quite often when we go 1-0 down, we struggle. So that was really positive. I think it's the first time I've seen that under Frank where we're chasing and we find a way through. I also thought that when that striker, what's his name, Sesko, when he got put through, it was a really good move from Man United. He went through 1-on-1. I was sitting right behind that. That tackle by Van de Ven to stop him getting the shot away was absolutely sublime. If that was Saliba, if that was Van Dijk, everyone would be waxing lyrical. Van de Ven showed he can make a tackle and he's not just about these sprinting recovery runs. It was an outstanding tackle. The whole South Stand started singing his name. It was just, that was an excellent piece of play. And the other thing is, I thought that for the first time, I can honestly say, Odegaard did the one thing I've said that he needs to show me, and that was output.
Yeah.
Output. Beat the man. Get the cross in. A dangerous cross. Find a white shirt in the box. Don't just aimlessly smash it in there. Get a shot on target. I think Odegaard would have scored that goal if Richie never stole it from the header. I thought it was curling in personally, but that's what I need to see from my attackers. Output. Assists. Shots on target. Beating the man. Crosses that successfully get to a Spurs shirt. And he showed that. And you know what? Hopefully we see more of that from him. Because if he does, maybe we've solved the left winger. Maybe that is the solution to the left wing.
Do you think Odegaard? Because I'm looking at Odegaard.
It's only one game. He's got to do it more.
I think Odegaard's
one game. He's improved since the Leeds game.
I know, but I think
that was his best game in terms of output.
I do think the way Odegaard plays, I think Odegaard potentially will be a better deliverer than Mohamed Kudus in the sense that he looks to bring others into play. Kudus, for me, I've said this right from the off. I said it when he was at West Ham before we signed him. He hangs on to the ball too long. Sometimes he doesn't lay off a pass, look for the quick 1-2 to break down a defence. And I think that Odegaard was, before Moani went off, that link-up play with Xavi and Moani up front looked full of promise. And I think that he could be, one of our better players, but we still don't. We still need a left-sided attacker. You can't if he goes out, right? If he's injured, then we're in more dog do, right?
100%. But yeah, listen, we all definitely know that we all need a lot more options.
Yeah,
because at the same time, like having a squad of 20, I'll bring Lubo in now. Sorry, Lubo, for maybe waiting. I know we've got a squad of 25, but Tottenham always, under Thomas Frank, both seasons under Ange and under Conte, we have got a ridiculous problem with our injuries. Like we could have a squad of, it would take a squad of 40 to get to a squad of 25 that are actually available. It's mad how our injury curse just carries on. Sorry, Lubo, come in, mate.
No, just to say, firstly, so some of the guys in the chat, I have no agenda. Again, I want players to do well. What I'm fed up with seeing players giving really poor performances week in, week out. Richarlison and Johnson, for me, are two of the worst players. Yes, Johnson scored plenty of goals last season, but Ange was playing a different system to Frank. And the way Frank doesn't set up where every ball goes across the box, and Johnson's coming in from the back post. I think Johnson's got one goal like that where we broke away at Man City this season. And he came in from the left and he took it well. But for me, Johnson doesn't do enough. Richarlison, I think, he was decent in Bilbao. He had a good game against PSG. Burnley scored twice, played well at Man City. And we're all thinking, do you know what? Brazilian number 9, World Cup season, here we go. And since then, his form's fallen off a cliff. Yes, he took the goal on Saturday and he picked up on the rebound at Brighton. But otherwise, he has been appalling. And, I feel sorry for Kudus. Kudus holds on to the ball, Johnny, too long because he's got no one to give it to.
Ham, mate. Same at West Ham.
He's got no one to give it to.
Same at West Ham. Ask any West Ham fan, they will tell you exactly the same. They told me before we signed him, you're welcome to him. He's a talented guy, holds on to the ball too long, too greedy, doesn't play others in, right? He had 3 assists, 3 goals and 1 assist, or 3 assists and 1 goal, whatever it was last season. He's playing with Jared Bowen. He's playing with other players. It's not like he doesn't play with anybody. And this was West Ham fans right at the beginning when we were linked to him.
And right? What about the year before,
sorry, Lubo, how are we saying that Odebear has the ability to link up play, but that Kudus doesn't? Half of Odebear's link ups, obviously I'm a massive fan of the relationship with Udogie, which is fine. I know that Porro works with Porro has never struggled to have a relationship with any person in front of him. Never. In all of the right wingers we've had over the last 3 seasons that he's been with us, he's always worked out how to fit in. What he does with Kudus in front of him, he gives the ball to him, knowing that he's going to do his thing, and then if he ends up running out of space, he'll just sit back and wait and get the ball back and then whip it in. But there's an option there for Kudus to do more with Porro if Kudus was to want to. And as far as Odebear linking up play, I think it's more obvious that Odebear and Xabi Simons get on very well. Odebear has had a relationship with Matisse Tell when he's played, starting last season and coming into this season, and Kolo Moani in the last couple of games. Those players could all equally have relationships with Kudus. But I agree with Johnny. It's not a problem because at the moment we don't have too many options, and he's very good at keeping onto the ball, keeping hold of the ball. He has got sticky feet, so it's not always a problem. But if we're going to call a spade and fine tune, overanalyze everybody, I think you have to also, take the bitter with the better with Kudus. He is a good player, but his weakness is his selfishness.
Well, I honestly feel sorry for him because he's had nothing pretty much to work with for most of the season up front. Just nothing. It's, we look
why
at
can't Xabi Simons drift right and connect with him?
Well, Simons has had a couple of decent games in the last week and he had a little nice cameo at Brighton. Apart from that, he's been crap. He hasn't settled in at all,
Pedro Porro and him. Pedro Porro and him were trying to link down. Look, I'm not slagging Kudus off, but I can see Kudus could be a better player than the player that we're looking at right now.
With better players, Johnny, with better players, he'll respond,
100%, but he's still got to cut the greed. There are times where he completely overplays the ball. I think defensively, he's fantastic. His work rate defensively is superb. But going forward, there's so many incidences where a simple pass to the left to playing a player, and he's got his head down and he's trying to keep hold of the ball. I'm not interested in you trying to take on 7 players or 6 players and still hold on to the ball. Fantastic, right? It would be great if you drew 3 players and then you pass the ball off and then create the space for others. What's his goal and assists this season? Richie's got a 7 GA and he's been shit. What is Kudus?
I'm pretty sure Kudus has got 1 goal in the Premier League, and I think 3 assists in the Prem and 1 assist and 1 assist in Europe or something.
For your 4 assists, 1 goal.
Yeah,
4 assists, 1 goal.
Yeah.
But
I also think we have to also maybe consider the fact that Kudus is asked to go and win corner kicks. You know, I said this a long time ago. It was the first thing that I noticed about our setup under Thomas Frank is that, and then it became more and more obvious with the fact that we would only push Bentancur and Paulinho and those types of players up for set pieces, for Danzo's long throws or for corner kicks. A lot of the time, Kudus stands, when he receives the ball, he stands at a standstill, literal standstill, with the left back a couple of feet away from him, and then he'll drop his shoulder and he'll beat him on a one-on-one to get some space, but deliberately to try to get the corner from a deflected cross into a corner situation so that we could play the boys up the top. And the times when he wasn't, when the fullback didn't get there in time, he was whipping the ball in and there was nobody there. There was one, maybe Richarlison was in the box, around 4 or 5 players around him. So I think it was by design that Kudus was trying to get the corner kicks. And so maybe on that basis, he's been told, you know, get the ball to Kudus and let him do his thing. Take the man on and then hope for a corner kick, because that's where we can be dangerous.
If we've got a top centre forward, we've been lacking a top centre forward. Moani hasn't been fit up to now, fully fit, and now obviously he's missing for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Richarlison, for me, he may have a 7 GA, but sorry, Johnny, he's nowhere near the level we should have.
I didn't say it was, mate. I didn't.
No. I didn't say you did. I'm just saying that
you said
7 GA for me. Okay, it's decent, but when you look at it, when you take stats out and you look at what you're seeing, what you're watching.
Yeah, the eye test, and that's why with Kudus, I get you, and that's why I'm saying with Kudus, right? You can tell me how great he is with the eyes, but on the opposite flank, right, he hasn't delivered enough. For a guy 55 million, 1 goal and 3 assists in the league isn't enough. Lubo, that's all I'm saying. I hear what you're saying about.
Do you know what? Some good players really show how good they are when they're surrounded by like-minded players to link up, which is what Lubo's saying. Then other good players, they don't need to be surrounded by quality. I'll give an example. Laetitia, he was in a very average Southampton team, always shone, always delivered, always stood out.
He was a maestro.
So some players need to be around better players. Others, they're just good. Doesn't matter. Just give me the ball. I know what to do. So with Kudus, I lean more with Johnny on this one. And Sean, actually, I do think he holds on to the ball too long. And I do think that he should release the ball sooner or make his decisions quicker. Having said that, if he did have better players around him, I think he would release it more. Because I'm not confident Kudus trusts his teammates. I'm not confident he trusts a lot of his teammates, which you don't get to choose that. You just got to, that's the whole point, and let the coach deal with the player once they get the ball. So if he does...
He only passes it when he's run out of options, doesn't he?
Basically, yeah. Or when... It's so difficult to judge him just yet. But
I've got to say
he can release the ball earlier. But again, if you don't trust your players, you're probably just thinking, "What's the point?"
Still, you look at the performances up to date for this season, and for me, you got the 2 centre backs, Kudus and Paulinho, have been head and shoulders above everybody else.
Really. And then, by the way, can I say another thing about this game? Stuart Pearce has got no right whatsoever to slag off Christian Romero when Stuart Pearce hasn't won a sausage in his life. A loser criticising a winner. Mate, win something and then criticise someone.
He had a hard week, still. He's lost his son. I'm going to let him off. I was going to start tweeting something along those lines, but the fact that he's lost his son in a tractor accident, I think I'll have to give him a complete pass for the rest of the year. I'd rather touch into Gary Neville. What's that?
He lost his son in a tractor accident. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Listen,
2 weeks ago.
2021.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
My condolences to him, his family, and everyone. And you know what? That's just not a nice, thing to happen to anybody. Specifically on his comments, though, I don't think when Thierry Henry is on Sky Sports or TNT and he's criticising or praising an attacker, you fucking listen.
Yeah.
He's won everything. He's won the
balanced
lot.
as well, though, still, isn't he? He's quite balanced.
You listen to him because he's won the lot. If I'm trying to think of if Maldini is sitting there talking to you about Romero, you listen. It's Maldini. I just don't think players that haven't really achieved much in the game should criticise players that have actually achieved something. I just find it so frustrating. And then the fans jump on it. Right, let's smash Romero. Let's go for Romero. Do you know what? I actually, Mari from our panel.
Just quickly, still, if we're embedding that rule around only people that have achieved more can criticise, then we all should shut up shop and go home.
Yeah. I'm not saying. Look, you it's freedom of speech. You can criticise. You can say what you want. Absolutely, Sean, you're spot on with that, right? Yeah, just shut it down. Fuck this. Shut it down. No. The point I'm making is, we should listen to what they say, but then don't just take that. Right? Yeah, he's right. I'm going to go for Romero.
Or Carragher.
Really?
Or Carragher for Paulinho. Remember saying he was poor signings. Poor signings. I mean, without Paulinho, where would we be still? Seriously.
I totally agree. Although Carragher's won things in the game, right? So I will listen to him and then I'll say, mate, you got that wrong. That was a
single him out in that Chelsea game where every single player in that team, no one got out of that game without any credit. Maybe what's name with a save or so, but it was terrible.
I'm not saying to people in the chat you can't have a say and you shouldn't listen. What I'm saying is I don't like it when someone who's won nothing wants to criticize and isolate one player in our team who's actually Romero has won more trophies than any other Spurs player. Nobody at our club has won more than Romero. So I don't expect someone that's won nothing to call him out. How's about you say today he had a bad game and this is why? But overall this season, Tottenham are much better when Romero plays. He doesn't say that though. He just guns him down. Mari got the data.
Especially as part of the criticism is that he's a bit of a psycho, right? And wasn't Stuart Pearce also known for being a bit of a psycho?
Called psycho.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Call him psycho.
Hot kettle black.
If he criticised Richarlison, you've got a whole season of data to say, yeah, look at him. But this season, the amount of games we lose compared to the amount of games we don't lose is significantly better when Romero plays. And likewise, Romero, when you look at the data, when you compare Van der Ven, Danzo, and Romero this season, overall, from a defensive point of view, Romero's actually come out on top. I thought Van der Ven was going to be the top one. I really thought it. Romero came out on top. So I just think the criticism Romero gets from the media, from our own fans, is bullshit. He's not world class. And I don't call Romero world class, but he's a good centre back. He's
a class over many, though, isn't he?
He's the next level.
He's world class at certain disciplines. There's no better centre back, in my opinion, in the league with a ball at his feet.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sorry, Lubo, what were you going to say?
He's one level down, but for me, where Pearce was right was actually picking and seeing. Romero lost his head. We went one down, and we needed a captain to rally the troops, and his head went, and that was a ridiculous challenge that got him booked. Mental.
Yeah, so
he shouldn't have been anywhere near him. He was way out of position. He got caught out in midfield another time. There was a third time where he lost the ball and he didn't even jog back. Bentancur, you saw Bentancur go past him, and that's unacceptable for Romero. Now, I think he's had a very, very good season. Listen, every player has a bad game. Mickey had one against Chelsea. Hang on. Mickey had a bad game last week. Romero had a bad game this week. But by and large, those two have been terrific this season.
Yeah, but that's not what's said, though. What is said
No,
is...
I know it wasn't what's said.
It's literally the knives are out. I'm just
No,
going
I
to
know.
Romero.
I know.
But the balanced criticism is you had an absolute stinker. That was nowhere near good enough because your standards, you've shown us, are much better than that. But that's not how it's pitched. The pitch is, he's a problem. Look at this.
What, and you know what? They produce all these stats on Sky. They bring them up. The favourite one is when this player plays, when this player doesn't play, right? That's the stat they always bring up, right? And if you bring up the stat, when Cuti Romero doesn't play, we don't win. We're shit. We're shit. We definitely are worse without him in the team. It's as simple as that, whether you like him or not. That is the fact. It's there in stats.
You're not going to get, still, you're not going to get eloquence like you get from Simon Jordan with Stuart Pearce, are you?
No.
Listen, people in the
Poor
chat,
man Sean Butler,
you-
people once referred to him. Or was it the other way around?
Simon Jordan.
Simon Jordan.
Can I just say, people in the chat, you've lost your freaking minds. Okay, you literally heads gone. A lot of you. The point I'm making is, some of you saying you wouldn't have an issue if Pearce criticised Mustafi. Mustafi's never been good in the Premier League. There's no data to show Mustafi's been good. The point I'm making is,
where did Mustafi come from?
Pearce deliberately tried to...
Mustafa Pine.
Mustafa, yeah, must have had my point.
Mustafa minute to do some super chats once Stell's finished doing his.
Well,
the point I'm making to you Spurs fans watching this show, right? Make sure you subscribe and like. You are watching us, of course. The point I'm trying to make is this: you cannot be criticising a player who's been good for the team this year, who's been good for the club in general. Yes, he has some bozo moments. Yes, he has the odd stinker. But if you're going to criticise him, please acknowledge all the good he's done as well. Let's not forget he was our man of the match in the Europa Cup final. So, but none of that is covered.
It's just Stuart Pearce going on. There's no genuine Tottenham fans that are criticising Romero.
Sean, a lot do criticise him. Last season, get him out the club. He obviously wants to leave. Still, he says if
that's an attitude thing rather than a skill set thing.
There was the rumours if he goes, if Ange goes,
it's Twitter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, the point I'm trying to make, you can call out a player for having a crap game. You can call out a player for costing us a goal or being sent off. But can you also please comment on all the good he has done and give a balanced opinion? But that never happens with Romero. That never, ever happens. It's always, look at him, liability, dangerous player, rubbish.
I really appreciate that same grace towards players like Matty's Tell, like a Kolo Moani still. Yeah, there's a few players out there that also
been at this club long enough for us to even have that chat yet. See, Richarlison, he's been here for 3 years. He has proven he's rubbish. He's proven he's rubbish.
Guys, I got to do some super chats. I have to run some super chats.
Can you send that to Moani while he's recovering from his jaw operation?
Yeah, maybe he'll come back and actually score a goal. Might motivate him.
Let's run some chats quickly. By the way, guys, there's over 700 people here. There has been 740 people here. Really appreciate that for a Monday night after that. As we go into the 2-week breaks, really good numbers. So appreciate your attention. Hopefully, we're putting on a show for you that's at least keeping your eyes open a little bit. Big up to Dino, Houdini, always here, always kicking off the Super Sticker train. Super Sticker train has commenced, guys. It has indeed. Thank you very, very much indeed. Fun fact, if everyone was to put in a 99p sticker, like what Dino has just done, we could get some ornaments inside Stell's room so it didn't sound so echoey.
We could get him a plant, or we could afford to buy a fifth, or we could afford a fifth man.
We could afford a fifth man. Exactly. Now, big up to you, Dino. Thank you very much indeed. And look who's come in to save the day. Super Spurs TV. Big up to you, Blaine. Oh, listen, poor Blaino, right? He had a shocker on the way home, trying to get from the United game to the airport in time.
Wasn't it, Sean?
What's that?
Was it planes, trains, and automobiles?
Yeah. He got a taxi. The traffic was horrendous. He couldn't get on the subway because the tube was taking too long. So he got a taxi. The taxi blew out a puncture by misreading the curve of a road and the actual curb. And then he got into a new taxi. They got into a car accident, and and then eventually he managed to get to the airport on time just by the skin of his teeth.
So
And made it. But he just got back home to donate Spurs Five membership.
It wasn't plain sailing for him then, was it?
Very good, Lubo. Very good. It wasn't plain sailing at all. Big up to you, Blaine. Thank you very much. I hope everybody who did receive one of those has said thank you to Blaine in the chat. And eventually we're going to get around to figuring out a way to do some Spurs 5 members only content. We will always bring up the members' chats when we see them. So that's one way, at least for now, to be able to recognise you. But I appreciate you very much, Blaine. Thank you so much, my man. Adrian Cockrell has said, we're suffering from another transfer window, buying potential rather than first-team players. You know what? I'm going to leave that one starred, Adrian, if that's all right. I'm going to come back to that when we talk about the transfers and the injuries and things in the next segment. So bear with me, mate, but I really appreciate the super chat. Blaine has come back in as well. Big up to you, Blaine. He says, evening, gents. For me, the lack of excitement is down to both Frank and the players. I'm also going to call out Romero as our captain. Here we go. Not once did I see him tell his players to move. All round subpar. Is it fair to criticise individually?
No, I think I'm a massive fan of Romero, but I thought he had a very poor game. His job, as Lubo says, is to, when all around are losing their heads, you have to be the calm person. Very difficult when you are the hot-headed Latino. But he lost it. And let's be honest, if he'd have connected a little bit worse, he could have seen red and put us even more danger. And, he wasn't the Chris Cuti Romero that we've seen in recent weeks. So, yeah.
What do you put that down to, though, Johnny? Was it just a bad day at the office for him? Or was it a manifestation of his frustration, the way we're playing?
Mate, he was absolutely livid with Papa Sarr. In fact, I actually think Mickey van der Ven was more livid with Papa Sarr for not clearing the ball to begin with. They seem to have let off Pedro Porro for completely missing him and Waymer at the back post. But it was Papa Sarr. If he clears it, this is a non-conversation, And we would have ended the half with no shots on either team. That's how it would have ended. And that's how it should have ended, really, because they did nothing. Nothing.
But Romero's recklessness went on into the second half. So
it did. Yeah. And he was taken off, right? My son said he should have gone off and brought on Danso with about 25 minutes to go. Because
I thought he was very lucky to escape a red card, because even though he got the yellow, he did make two other fouls that were sort of lightweight fouls, but they can,
But then you could also say, Johnny, just if we're sort of flicking back very quickly to the United game, why is Danso leaving Johnson to mark De Ligt? Johnson's hopeless marking at defensive situations.
So first of all, he lost him. In second, there was three things with that goal, Lubo, right? First of all, quite rightly, why was Johnson marking him and why did he lose him? Number two, how comes the referee never saw Luke Shaw with two hands around Bentancur, giving him a bear hug, stopping him from moving, blocking him completely? And third and foremost, Vicario, it's seconds to go. Come out and command your fucking box, mate. He reverted to the Vicario that I always question and I worry about. Unbelievable shot stopper. But a goalkeeper's two-faceted.
Yeah. I'll add a fourth, Johnny. I'll add a fourth. And just to wrap up the United thing, about this second goal, Bentancur came out with the ball 94th minute. We're thinking about in-game management. This is a Uruguayan international who tries a stupid ball out to the right wing. And the next time we had possession and had control of the ball was when we were kicking off at 2-2. So for me, Bentancur, if he'd have done his job
corner for the goal.
No, he lost the ball before the corner. He gave it out wide and we lost it.
I blame the fans. I blame the fans for actually cheering the corner. Do you remember that, Stel?
Lubo, hold on. Are you talking about the goal that led to the equaliser?
Yeah. Their equaliser, yep.
No, and Mbeumo had it on the wing and he tried to cross it and we blocked the cross and it went off for a corner.
Before Mbeumo, we had the ball.
Yeah.
We had the ball, Benson Court
Gave the
played
ball away
the ball
unnecessarily.
outside and lost it.
Yeah.
A lot of
Stupid balls to
plays.
play.
I know there's a lot of plays before that, though, isn't there? It's like 18.
No, but next time, but we didn't touch the ball after that.
Guys, this goes back to what I said at the start of the show where I said our football's really rubbish. The quality of our passing game is absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
Some of the passing play at times, it doesn't.
That's why I've been saying this all week. I genuinely think that when Pedro Porro has a bad game, at the moment, we have a stinker because he is one of our only reliable passing outlets for a variety of different types of passes. We don't have a good passer in the midfield. Bentoncourt, by the way, I'll show you some interesting stats that I think somewhat negates this narrative that we don't have anything else, because Bentoncourt's 24-25 season versus the 25-26 season, everything that he is good or bad at this season, he was half as bad or half or twice as good last season. So there is, to me, in that mindset, the assumption is that there's something either going on with the player, personally he's just dropping his levels, or the design of the tactics don't suit him, Sarr or Bergwijn. Let me just finish
I think it's 2 injuries, Sean.
Yeah, I
He's
listen,
had 2 bad
100%.
injuries.
100%,
Sean,
yeah.
when your passing game is poor, it's because you aren't doing a significant number of passing drills and practices in training. The focus isn't on that. Doesn't mean you don't do it. There's not a significant focus on it, and it's reflected on game day.
Deprioritized for positional stability or whatever. Listen, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. I think that there's data out there that you can look at just within, not comparing your team to other players that we don't have and saying, look how good this player is, look how good we would be if we had him. You can just look at the previous data of the same players that you have now versus last season and see that, like, the takeaway from that is that a lot of the problems that we might see, or to some degree at least, are because of the way that these players are being asked to play football at the moment. And I think that plays to your point there. Christopher Moller, big up to you, Chris. He says, love the show, guys. Keep up the good work. Come on, you Spurs. Appreciate the super chat, mate. Appreciate the feedback as well. Thank you very much indeed. And Adam Horlock, seeing your name all the time in the last couple of weeks. Adam, thank you very much for showing up again, buddy. And thank you very much for the super chat. He says, big up, guys. Who is the 5th person next week? Don't know yet. It's going to be a secret. What I'm going to do, I'm going to build a little jingle for people that watch us on the channel that can't be named. You'll know that I like to make jingles. I'm going to have a jingle that's going to be like a guess the guest. And it's going to be like a do 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 do, and it's going to be loads of different potential faces, and then someone's going to pop up, and then we'll bring the person in. So it'll be a surprise every.
Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel to see the guest. Big up to you, Adam. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate you guys. All please do smash the like button, and the subscribe button should be squeezed. Right, I want to ask a little bit about this Thomas Frank injury crisis. I know we've covered it a little bit as we've gone through the Man United game, but we really are under the cosh here. 11 players down now. I don't know how many. I think only Bergwijn will be back guaranteed for the Arsenal game, unless something was to happen again in the international break. But at best, it's going to be about 9 players back. We hope Kudus will be fit, but there's no guarantees. Still no Kota Takai, still no Radu Dragusin, still no Kulusevski, still no Solanke. Obviously now Moani's out for a long time. Archie Gray's out for a long time as well. It's problems across the park, guys. How much of the pressure that's on Thomas Frank is as a consequence of the injuries? Who would like to go first? Don't mind.
Just to say, right, I think the question I wanted to ask on this is whether or not, under UEFA rules, we can swap out Kolo Moani for Matthias Tell to bring coming into the squad. The question here is that if we swapped him out today, he couldn't play for 60 days. There would have to be a 60-day gap before we could reintroduce him. So if we made an early decision now, I think that brings us, if someone does the maths, I think it's around the Borussia Dortmund game. We could potentially bring him back for Borussia Dortmund.
You can, yes.
If it's 60 days, I'm not sure if it's tight or is it, but we would have to let them know today, really, that we were swapping him out. The question is, who's right? Are the doctors right and they reckon they can beat it and it's 6 weeks? Or do we bring Matthias Tell in so that he's there for the next 3.
You've got to bring Matthias Tellin.
Yeah.
You have to bring a Tellin.
So
You've got 2 games against Slavia Prague before then.
Johnny, 6 weeks means that he misses both games against PSG and Slavia Prague.
yes, that's what I'm saying. So some are saying it's only 4 weeks, but I'm saying don't take the risk. Take him out of the squad and put Matthias Tellin instead, straight away.
Yeah.
Because if we do it today and Kolo Moani comes back fit in January or before then, he'll be ready and we can introduce him back into the squad and take Tell out for that game. So I'm all for doing that right here, right now. I just wanted to...
Johnny, who told you we can swap him?
You can.
Yeah, you get 1 swap for a long-term injury.
Long-term injury.
Right, I'm just looking at the UEFA rules here, and it says, I'll read out to you what it says. UEFA allows a club to replace players who suffer long-term injuries after the squad has been registered, but only up to specific deadlines and under certain conditions. The conditions are basically the injury is long-term and clearly documented. So what is long-term? And the other one... Well, and the other one is UEFA's medical committee approves the request.
Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying is they can apply for them. This is
they can apply. Yeah,
they can apply for it. But it's
what is long term? What is long term?
Well, there's the thing. I mean, 8 weeks. If he's going to miss potentially all of the remaining Champions League games.
When was the last time we ever got a player back within the initial suggested time period?
As soon as we hear those words, he's back on the grass. It means he's in drug rehab.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really Amy Whitehouse. Every time Thomas Frank says those immortal words, it's not serious, right? He's back on the grass. And we should play, I don't want to go to rehab.
So it must be, If okay, it says here injuries with uncertain but shorter recovery, so 4 to 8 weeks for recovery,
which is what we are
often rejected for injury replacement registrations.
Let's see. We can definitely try.
Spurs need to declare 9 weeks then. Just put 9 weeks on the document.
Well, it is open-ended. It is open-ended, and as Sean will tell you, for someone who's broken his jaw, right? You know,
fractured my jaw.
Fractured his jaw. He wasn't quite the same rugby player afterwards.
But this will also
wasn't quite the same kisser afterwards. Wasn't quite the same eater afterwards. Couldn't eat a pizza the way I wanted to. There was lots of things that had to change in my life when that happened.
Quick jaw McGraw instead of quick draw McGraw.
Quick on the jaw.
If 8 weeks or less is not allowed or is subject to debate, then just document it down. Yeah, he's out for 9 weeks.
So would
your other question is, will UEFA say, fine, if he's out for 9 weeks, he can't play league games, can't play domestic football for 9 weeks? Is that documented? That may be it.
I don't know if that's a rule because UEFA and the Premier League are 2 different rules.
He's not going to be back in 2 months, guys. Like, if we get like a wrist, like a feet, like you get a splinter, you're out for a couple of weeks at Tottenham. You know, there's no such thing as a quick recovery. If the estimation is 6 to 8 weeks, it's like building a house. You know, how long is it going to take? 3 months. Double it again, add a couple more days, and twice the price. It's horrendous at getting players back.
All depends on how bad the fracture is.
Do you know what? Add 3 more weeks on top for him to get back.
Yes, for sure. Well. Listen, these footballers, guys, I want to know about all these fads, right? I'm sick to death of them. We had Robbie Fowler with the flipping tape on his nose, right? Every player had a bit of tape on his nose. Then we went to having a bit of Vicks and a bit of Vic, right, on the chest, right? A big wet patch there where they whack the Vic on so they can breathe. Now, every flipping player has got his hand bandaged, right? Foden's got it. Tell's got it. Kudus has got it. Have they all got a broken right hand?
They have got some cream on their wrist, haven't they? That gives them more stamina over the game. That's what they're doing it for.
It's just fashion. It's fashion,
mate. It's bollocks, mate. Yeah. I think they're going to strap up. And the next time they come, I want to see them strapped up bollocks with a great big bulge, right? Saying, you know, I'm wearing this to harness my power. It releases more testosterone if I put a nice ball pack in there. I mean, come on. It's getting ridiculous now. It's getting ridiculous. More and more. It started off with 2 or 3. Now I'm seeing more and more players on every team now wearing that. The nose thing's gone. The Vic's gone. What's next, Stel?
Liverpool are still doing
I,
the old...
I think they should come out with a bandage around their head. I think it would be a great look. It improves the heading ability, more aerodynamic.
Swimming hats for aerial dynamism.
This is why hats off to Moani for staying on the pitch and trying to see it through.
100%. 100%. Imagine we got a corner. We got a corner. Instead of going to get a new ball, all the players going and get little rubber hats to put on their heads to make it.
Johnson's on the right wing. We're down to 10 men. Richarlison's on the left wing. We're down to 9 men. Moani stays on the pitch injured. We're down to 8 men. We were playing with 8 men for the whole first half. What's the point?
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's how bad United are, which is the way we should have treated them before we started the game.
It's not going to get any better. All I know is that I fear for what's going to happen. But I would rather sacrifice PSG and try and get a result against Arsenal.
I think we're getting a point at Arsenal, guys. I'm telling you. I think we're getting a point at Arsenal. He's going to shut shop, stink it out, low block, squeeze the game, and pray to God that we get away with a draw. And I
don't mind that. I have absolutely no problem.
We have to do that, Sean. We have to do that.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. I have absolutely no problem with tactical decisions like that away from home, or even occasionally at home against teams that have an obvious supremacy.
Against Arsenal, we've got to stink it out. We can't play football at Arsenal. We got to do that.
We got to do a Sunderland. Danny Keriaku says, "What about Edgar Davids' goggles for his supreme accuracy? Extra focus. I think he had glaucoma. Slightly different."
So we've got to try and get something at Arsenal because City go to Newcastle the night before. So and that won't be easy.
Yeah.
But Arsenal's the one we don't listen. Imagine we go to Arsenal, we get a draw, they get 1 point, City win, they close the gap to 2. We're helping City win that league title. We've got to do our bit, guys. We've got to get City over the line. We've got to do it.
Especially when they come to us, Stel, and we can cheer on Man City to beat.
I'll cheer them on again. I did it last time. I'll do it again. I've got no problems.
Stel, just before we move.
I won't like it.
No, I won't like it. Just before we move on to this super chat, one bring in the transfer window stuff. There's a couple other topics as well. I want to briefly we finished the Manchester United segment. Can we get an update of the Premier League predictions table just to see where everyone is, seeing as you did so well this weekend?
Well, I got 1 point. You guys got 0 because I predicted a draw.
Because I think you were sending me messages saying, "I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Sean Butler. I'm coming for you."
I'm coming, mate. We're closing the gap.
Johnny, you were so close, mate. You were so close to getting some points.
I was so close to getting 3 points. In fact, I was so close to getting 9 points.
Oh, it's tight at the top. It's tight.
Johnny,
but I'm still there. Ah!
Johnny's going down, man. Johnny's getting relegated.
Down with the Wolves. You're going down with the Wolves.
Mate, I could get sacked, mate. I could get sacked. I've just looked at the bookmakers. Listen, I was literally seconds away from 3 extra points.
Me too. I was top of the table, mate. 95 minutes, I was top. 9 points.
Why? What did you have?
Fair, Johnny predicted 3-2. Lubo predicted 2-1. Sean said 2-0. I said 1-1. So Lubo was
3-2,
30 seconds away.
I thought predicted 2-1. Definitely did 2-1 on Football Link.
No, but I think you said to me on Football Link that you changed your mind. You predicted one thing on this, and then you changed your mind.
Yeah. You know why? I remember now because I didn't realise we had the injuries. That's right. Yeah. You're right.
So, Johnny, you were going to stay bottom anyway, regardless.
Yeah, regardless.
Well, you would have got a point.
No, I don't watch football. I definitely don't watch football.
Right, listen, I want to bring this super chat back in. By the way, guys, keep smashing the lights. There's 750 people here. We love to see it. Appreciate you spending Monday night with us. Please hit the subscribe as well. I will be dropping the link for all the channels into the chat in just a moment. We're suffering from another transfer window buying potential rather than first team players. So I have been hearing a lot of people. I know Sava's been talking about the window being You know, he's been saying it since the window closed, essentially, that he wasn't happy with the window. I think most Tottenham fans generally thought the window was a very big improvement on previous windows or recent windows, Lubo. I'll start with you on this one, mate. Are we suffering from, or are we guilty of overhyping the window that we experienced, or are we just saying that now because the injuries have really kicked us in the gut and we're looking for ways to kind of blame someone to blame for that?
Who overhyped it here?
I think a lot of people. I think the fan base generally were quite happy with the fact that we signed 4 players that were first team starters, right? In Kudus, Xavi Simons, Moani, and Paulinho.
Well,
I still think we've had. This is the result of 10 years of poor transfer windows, by and large. We've had there's been a few successes, but very few. The shadow of Daniel Levy is still hanging over the club, unfortunately.
Daniel.
No, seriously, this is how it's hanging over the club.
It's not a shadow.
You know, the lack of ambition, the lack of drive. You know, I was on the Southern show today, and we were talking about the midfield players.
No name dropping, please.
We were talking about that. We were talking about clubs with really good midfield players. You know, who could come on and control games. Declan Rice, 105 million. Enzo and Caicedo, between them, 220 million. Rodri was
Florian Wirtz, 125 million.
Okay, but you know what? He'll
He's
come
only
good.
one. He's only one. Yeah,
He'll come good. That will get sorted. He's interesting because just diversifying slightly. Adrian Durham was saying on TalkSport today, Liverpool's biggest problem at the moment also is Salah, who's hardly scoring and doesn't track back and is creating chaos. And how long is Slot going to wait till he drops Salah? But Wirtz, I'm sure, will come good. He's a quality player. He is just settling in to the Premiership. That's very different to the Bundesliga, as Xavi Simons is finding out. And I'm sure we can all agree that we've seen enough of Simons to see that he is a player, and all being well, he will come good.
It didn't take Etikite very long to settle in.
No, it doesn't. No, some players just slot in, and he has. But going back to us, Frank is suffering because we haven't got enough quality in the squad. We've got 4 or 5 very, very good players in Paulinho, the 2 centre backs, Kudus. We got then it's a drop down. We've got several good players. You got a load of kids, and then they've got a few players that are really just way off the level. We haven't got enough very good players in our squad to make a difference. And again, hopefully the kids are going to come in. They're going to put that right. I said last week we need 300 million to start putting this squad right in next summer. You know, we've got 100 million from the share rights issue. We've got 90 million that was forwarded in advance of TV funds. That's 190 million. If you sell, you get 20 for Richie, 30 for Solanke, 20 for Bentancur, 20 for Sarr, 20 for Johnson. There's another 110 on your 190. There's your 300 million. Go and spend it. Go and buy top players. Quality. We've got really good kids. We don't need any more kids.
You're talking about in the summer, Lubo?
I'm talking about the summer.
Okay.
Go and spend 300 million on top players, or 190 plus 110 that I'm sure you'll get from those 5 players, who for me I would move on. I'd move every single one of those players on. Richie, Solanke, Benson, Sarr and Johnson.
Does spending money guarantee success?
Nothing guarantees success. But
you know, Liverpool or Man U?
Hang on. Let's just say that, you know, Arsenal wanted to spend 105 on Declan Rice. They knew what they were getting. They were getting 8 and 9 out of 10 every week. Chelsea the same with Enzo.
Lubo, right? Not how much you spend. It's spending it on the
what
right.
£100 million player are you going to attract to Tottenham Hotspur? Just out of curiosity, there isn't also going to be of the pursuit of teams like Arsenal, Liverpool, City, United, or Chelsea.
Okay, but Sean, we've got to go and compete with them now.
Victor Osimhen.
Osimhen, we should have signed. Right.
Wow. Yeah. If you could get him, I don't care about his dickheadness. Bring that guy to me. Bring him to me.
I think Bournemouth. Listen, the problem is that it's Spurs maybe have missed out on Semenya. Spurs and United evidently offered 50 million, got turned down in the summer. Spurs should have gone and said, right, 60, okay, you want 70? We'll give you 70, and bought Semenya. And again, I think that was poor on Spurs' part. They've got to go in, they've got to buy these quality players where you're going to get 7, 8s and 9s or 10 out of 10 every single week. You know, you look at the players we've relied on, and you had Dyer come in the team, I remember the other year, played a few good games, Davis the same, and then their form drops off because they're not good enough, and these players are inconsistent, and they'll have good games.
Gray, do you reckon?
Sorry?
How much do you reckon we get for Archie Gray right now?
Archie Gray? He's unsaleable, Johnny. Top potential, mate. You do not get rid of players like that.
Homegrown talent as well. Don't forget.
I thought you said you wanted to fix the squad, Lubo.
Sorry, I wanted
You said you wanted to fix the squad.
Still.
How do we fix the squad keeping Gray?
Because you keep him, because he's a top player. He will be a top player.
He's done absolutely
top potential, and he'll be a top player.
But then by that logic, keep Odebert, keep Tell, keep them all. They've got potential then.
Well, listen, maybe. Listen, you got Moore coming back. You got Vuskovic coming back.
Who are we going to drop so they can play? Who's going to be dropped so Vuskovic can play?
Who's going to drop? Well, I personally think Vuskovic will come in front of Danzo and Dragusin.
Really? You think?
I honestly think
our manager is going to play him ahead of Danzo and Dragusin? I don't.
Listen, he's getting scouting reports, and Vuskovic is playing brilliantly in the Bundesliga every single week. He's won the Young Player of the Month, second month running.
I don't
He
think
needs to be retrained to play off the left-hand side.
Listen,
He's young enough and he's talented enough to be able to learn how to play off the left-hand side. Before he gets set in his ways, we need a player that can play off the left. If you can reposition him to be a monster from the left-hand side, his value will double because it's a more of a scarce type of player anyway.
Let's get Jan Bissek or get the boy from Wolfsburg, right? We need a proper left-sided centre-back. None of this square pegs in round holes. We need a quality left centre-back because you know as well as I do, if Mickey Van der Ven goes, we're screwed. If Odeberg gets injured, we're screwed, right?
Same with Udogie.
No.
Yes.
We got Spence.
That's not been a success at left back.
Listen, look, you're not going to tell me Jed Spence is shit. I'm sorry.
Hang on, I didn't say the word shit. The word shit. Hasn't been a success. It's been okay. Defensively, yes. Attacking.
Well, we've done something right to be in the England squad because he wasn't in it before.
Doesn't play left back for England, does he?
No, because he's a right back.
Exactly. He's a right back. Now there's
a shout for playing
There's a shout for playing him at right back in front of Porro.
100%.
Me, but not as a left back. You need a top defender who can play either left back or left centre back.
The thing is here, look, Arsenal, despite having the massive depth that they had, still went and spent a fortune on Hincapié, who's a monster at left back and is a monster at left centre back. And they still got Masquera, right, who was one of the best signings of the summer there, £13 million from Valencia. I mean, they just buying quality. They don't fuck around. We're still, how many years have we spending talking, Lubo, about a backup or not a backup, a competing left centre-back?
Yeah, but left-sided centre-backs are so rare. It's a lesser spotted centre-back, especially one that's left-footed. There's probably 3 or 4 left-footed, left-sided centre-backs that are out there right now in Europe that are actually attainable, that are value for money.
Hincapié was.
I'll tell you this now.
Hincapié was.
Hincapié didn't want to come to Tottenham, did he? He went to Arsenal.
Well, he did because we never bid for him. Unfortunately,
probably because we got told it was a week after Eze. We probably got told, don't even bother. The Arsenal, there'll be Little Broad again.
We've got to hope. We have got to hope now that Levy's gone that the handbrake's off. We can go and spend a bit extra on players. We can give them higher wages.
Like he was a handbrake.
He was a handbrake, Sean. There's no question he was a handbrake.
There's every question he was a handbrake. There's every question.
He was a handbrake. Massive handbrake.
Can I say, if we do not in the summer go and sign established, proven talent that is Premier League pedigree, what's going to happen is at the end of the following season, the Van der Vens will 100% be snapped up by Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Or the Kuduses, maybe they don't stick around, and we will end up losing some of our stars. It's amazing we've kept them, but as you can see, the number of stars in this team has diminished massively.
Who do you suggest, Stel? Who do you suggest? Semenyo? Is that the one?
Semenyo, Savinho.
So what have you seen of Savinho? Just out of curiosity, because Sean and I were talking about it on the show that can't be named, and we said that has Savinho shown anything that would warrant the £80 million that we were rumoured to have been paid?
He's not really playing much at City at the moment, is he? He's not really getting lots of game time.
But when he has come on, he's not been great in possession. He hasn't been superb.
I think unless players play consistently week in, week out, it's very difficult to judge them. They need to build up regularity, momentum, and to replicate what they do in training and match day.
Fair enough. It's fair enough.
It's the same argument I apply for Odebert. In, out. You don't really go anywhere.
Say that when you look at Esteval, right, who I still maintain is going to be an absolute, like on another level. When he comes onto the pitch, despite minimal minutes, he turns the game. There's something about him. And, I'm not seeing that with Savinho at this moment where he's doing that. That's my...
I saw it last season with him.
Yeah, last season.
He could do better.
Definitely when he was in Spain, for sure.
And another player, the guy we spoke about from the Monaco guy. I keep forgetting his name.
Akalouche.
There you go. We should be going in for him.
Jan Bissek, defender. Just go and look at his stats. He's like a monster.
There's a winger. I think he plays in Turkey. There's a Turkish player that a lot of people are talking about. I had a look at him. He looks decent. I'm rubbish with names though.
Yildiz.
Is it? I don't know. I can't remember. But
who's the player from that? Sorry,
isn't he?
Describe him still. I don't know.
He's a Turkish winger.
Oh, Kenan Yildiz.
Here's Yildiz. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he ain't coming to Spurs, mate. He's going to anywhere and anywhere, but not here.
He doesn't want to leave Juve. Rafael Leao doesn't want to leave AC Milan. Bastoni doesn't want to leave Inter. None of these players want to leave their Italian home.
No more youngsters now. No more. Develop the ones we've got. The academy kids like the Vuskoviches, the Mikey Moores, the
Yildiz is a youngster.
The
Williams Barnett.
Yeah, but he's shown that he's
on it.
He's on it. It's like Yamal. He's a youngster, but look at him. You don't say no to that.
What about Nico Paz? Nico Paz. You've got all of those midfielders that.
Let me be more specific. I don't want any more youngsters that are potential. I don't want that anymore. If you're going to bring a youngster, bring someone that is.
I actually don't want. I would rather have to go out and get me a 25, 26-year-old guy that's got demonstrations of consistent form, not just a couple of even at the very best level, the highest level, they are still breakout seasons, and a lot of players go off the dial. If you bought Dele Alli 2 seasons, if you bought him from Tottenham 2 seasons into his Tottenham career, you'd be really, really like there's no question here. There's no question. Look how good he is. He's young, but he's proven it. There's still the chance that these players fall off. Correct. I want to go and get a player that's been doing it. And I think that the market has proven now that everybody's fishing in the kids' pool. You're getting this escalation, this amplification of value that's not justified. And no one's fishing over here. Come over here. The water's lovely. 26 years old, 27 years old, 28 years old. We need some 3 or 4 players. As I said, we've got 2 very good. If everybody's fit, we have a 22, an A team and a B team that's very competitive in terms of depth. But we need 3 or 4 really, really good £60 million players now. 1 in the midfield, 1 on the left, 1 up the top, and then possibly 1 in a fullback or a centre-back hybrid role. And if you can go and get those 4 done, you don't need to focus on the 20-year-olds anymore. Go and get a 26-year-old. If everyone thinks that 26-year-old is like retirement age, and you're basically a granny or a granddad in the world of football, then surely that means that you can get relative value, because there's not as much competition for those sorts of players.
Sure.
What is Igor Thiago? Is Igor Thiago breakout? Can't do it on 1 season. Need to see him for another season.
Yeah, Igor Thiago's breakout. Yeah.
It's
Listen,
breakout.
I don't mind some youngsters if they're proven. For example, there was the centre back last year at Bournemouth, Hysyn, who went to Real Madrid. Top this year.
Zabani.
This year, look at the youngster at Sunderland, Ballard. Is it Ballard?
Ballard.
Mate,
Yeah.
He looks mustard.
He's at Arsenal.
Absolutely mustard.
He was at Arsenal, wasn't he?
Released from the Arsenal youth team without playing a minute.
That's a youngster that's doing it in this league right now. He's only going to get better. So if we're going to sign youngsters, get me those. No more experiments like Grays and Bergvalls and Odeberts. They're experiments. No more experiments.
I think Bergvall will come good, personally.
So I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will as well. But if we carry on buying more 20-year-olds, how the hell does Luca Williams-Barnett ever get a chance? How the hell? Like the point that
sorry, Ballard, 26. Sorry, guys, I didn't know. I thought he was younger. My apologies. I thought he was younger than 26. He looked younger.
We've got all the kids. We've got all the kids we need. We've got a stack of very good kids. We've got 3 kids who were 16 playing in the who were picked for the England under-17 World Cup squads. In Luca Williams-Barnett.
After his dad, Tynan Thompson.
Yeah,
he lost his dad, so I'm not sure whether he still went. I think he probably would have gone.
Lubo out. Sorry, Johnny.
I'm not sure he did. You got Thompson, Barnett, Williams-Barnett, and you've got Byfield.
They're not going to play for Spurs, mate. They're not going to play for Spurs. I'm telling you. We've got Dane Scarlett sitting on the bench who can't even get in ahead of Richie.
I think
Richie after week.
Byfield are a level above.
These kids.
We said Mikey Moore was born to play for Spurs. He hasn't had a look in.
He will play for Spurs.
He will.
Johnny called him generational last night.
Right. So here's my question, Johnny. Right. This is my question to every Spurs fan. I want Mikey Moore to play. I want Williams-Barnett to play. I want them playing for Spurs. I'm all for it. The question is, who is being dropped to pave the pathway for them to come in? Who are we dropping for them? And that's when the argument just falls apart. They're not playing for Spurs.
Hang on, Sel. We're not Sel. This is more than 11 player squad. We've got to get to a position.
Who are you dropping then, Lupo? Who are you dropping?
What do you mean dropping? When you say dropping, it's not a fixed 11 anymore.
You have to take someone out of the squad to make way for them to come in the squad. So who are you taking out of the squad to make way for them?
Well, firstly, I told you 5 that I'd get rid of in the summer.
Go on then. Who's your 5-point manifesto? Let's go.
No, Lubo. Who are you dropping for Mikey Moore to play at Spurs? Name the player that's going to be removed.
In terms of the squads, I'd get rid of Johnson.
Right. Do you see Spurs selling a £50 million player that they're going to take a hit on to make way for Mikey Moore? Do you think they'll do that?
We're going to take a hit on Richarlison. We're going to take a hit on Solanke.
You don't need to. Mikey Moore can just come back in and play as in the B team sort of thing. He doesn't have to be part of the 25-man squad.
Sure.
We're talking about them playing in the starting 11, right? That's the whole point.
I'm not talking about starting 11.
So if they're not going to play in the starting 11, why are you bringing them back?
Because we always have 10 injuries at any particular point in time. You always have 10 injuries.
Right. So at some point they're going to start.
Chelsea have got all those kids that don't make it, that don't go out on loan, or this year less so. But last year they had all these players that weren't out on loan, that were kids, 18 to 20 years old, and they had an overflow dressing room. Because you don't have to have. You get 25-man squad of people within a certain age bracket, certain limitations on the foreign quota and all that. But the kids that are between the age of 17 and 21 can be additional players. And then you just make up whether you want them in the squad on the off chance that they are going to be needed and screw their career if they're not, or you let them go out on loan. But Tottenham have got a lot of talent, which but they don't have to make up the squad numbers. So you don't literally have to drop Johnson to make room for Mikey Moore at least in the squad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I just say
the point I'm making is for these youngsters to be playing, for us to be sitting in the terraces watching them play for Tottenham Hotspur, we have to make way for that to happen. Someone has to be sacrificed for them to get those minutes, those regular minutes, not a cameo 30 minutes in the FA Cup, half a game of football every 10 games. To get some regular minutes, we're going to have to sacrifice a player or some playing minutes. Who are we sacrificing for these kids to have a real chance of playing for Tottenham Hotspur? The way Ledley King played, the way Harry Kane played, Harry Winks, Skip. These players played for Tottenham regular.
Yeah.
Who's making way for that to happen is my question.
Can I just say, right, with Mikey Moore, right, with that idiot that was managing before, he had no idea how to play Mikey Moore. He had no idea what position, right? And it's amazing how a fan base can decide that an 18-year-old is entirely responsible for bringing the downfall of Glasgow Rangers and the games that they were playing, not the professionals who have been there for years, not the manager, but the kid. And it's funny how Roll has come in there, spoken to the player, done his research on the player, studied him, and suddenly, miraculously, he's now playing. He started out on the left and now he's playing as a 10. He's looking like a different player. Suddenly, all the Rangers fans are taking back everything. I'm trying to find all the ones that have been calling him out for the first 4 or 5 games, and now they're retracting them. And, you know, look at the reviews. He should have had 2 on the weekend. It wasn't him that was offside. But he's playing with men. He's playing with... Pardon?
This comment.
I don't know who's Colin.
Where does Angus get
Rubbish. Mikey Moore came on and actually changed the game for him.
He changed the game against Celtic. He was brilliant against Dundee. He was good in the Europa League. He got
Are we blowing smoke up his arse a little bit more than we need to because he's one of our right?
What I'm saying is...
No, Sean, he's doing well, is the point. He's doing well, that's all. He's not amazing. He's doing well.
When he went to Rangers, he got the blame for everything that was wrong with Glasgow Rangers. And I think as an 18-year-old kid, right, it's great grounding for you to be in a situation where you're taking the shit and you're taking the heat and everyone's blaming you. It ain't nice, but it's good for character building. You're up in Scotland, you're out in Scotland, and to come through the other side and now fans are calling his name and singing his name, and he's scoring goals and he's getting assists, and now they're interviewing him after the game and asking him, why is your game change all of a sudden? It's the manager and understanding the player. I actually think personally that he will play for Spurs. I know many don't. I believe he will. And I think, he's having a very good apprenticeship up at Glasgow, the School of Hard Knocks.
100%. Tough place to be, tough place to grow up. It's a brutal environment, right? Like the Scottish, they're passionate and they're unforgiving. And when things go tits up, they're going to go after the people that are not part of their own academy. Like, why are we wasting time developing a Tottenham kid? I'm 100% right on that, Johnny. 100% right. Whether he makes it back at Tottenham, I hope he does.
Yeah,
but
I believe he will.
Let's applaud the transformation, but let's not sort of overhype the kid yet, because again, we can go from pillar to post. We can, the pendulum can swing too far the other way and say that he's ready and he's not ready yet.
All I remember is we'll see you still at the academy games. I remember the first time I saw Mikey Moore play, he picked up the ball and he went through the middle of that park with unbelievable balance. And I don't know, I blurted it out. I think I've just seen baby Gazza because of the way Gazza used to play with his barrel chest sticking out and ride those challenges. It made me stand up and look. I've seen a lot of academy games, and maybe I am a bit biased from that point of view, that I've always thought that there was something special.
Right. Everyone's got their their pet favourite.
Another issue we've got is you've got some fans that think Mikey Moore is amazing. You've got some fans who think Moore is a good player who's developing nicely and deserves a chance at Tottenham. And you've got some fans that simply don't want him to be successful. They don't want him to do well because they're so hell-bent on, we must buy only proven quality talent, and therefore Mikey Moore coming back.
But isn't the point that we have players like him? We have players like Junai Byfield. We have players like Luca Williams-Barnett. We have enough kids we've already bought that are 18 to 21 right now. We have SARS, we have Bergvals, we have yada, yada, yada. We've got Archie Grays. We've got them coming out of our bloody ear holes. Right. Yeah. Right now, do we need any more 18 to 21-year-olds coming through?
But Sean,
surely not.
How many of those players can dribble and beat one or two players? How many can actually dribble?
That's what I'm saying. So let's go and get
Mikey Moore can dribble. He's a dribbler.
Okay, so we don't need to go and buy another 18-year-old from Strasbourg or from fucking Club Brugge.
If I said
who can do that, right? Let's
potential.
go and get a 27-year-old. For the one reason, because they've got experience.
If I agree with you,
you have a much bigger sample of evidence to know whether they're proven at the right level, where their weaknesses are, whether they're like. And we've got 15 minutes left, so I want to throw some names out to you. with regard to this. Can we all agree then? Are we generally all in agreement, just to put this particular part of the story to bed, are we generally all in agreement that we have bought enough kids and we have enough talented kids either on loan or coming through, that right now that the focus for January and the summer should be to sprinkle in some more experienced quality, because there might be some benefits
100%.
around pricing and also experience?
You can do both. I believe we can do both. I believe we still need to maintain an eye on finding unbelievable talent for our academy, and that's whether it's nicking them from Man City or Arsenal or Chelsea, wherever. But
£1-2 million sprays and plays, not 25, £30 million kids.
Here. This isn't an either or, it's a both. One's the academy, one's the first team. First team, ready, oven ready, ready to cook, ready to roll players, and academy players that we can bed into the future, like Buskovich.
Yeah, but Johnny,
let me ask you a quick example. Sorry, so just to make the point. I'm not talking about £1 and £2 million superstars like Mason Melia that might become great. They're fine. I'm all okay with that. Yeah. Someone like a Hayden Hackney, who's going to cost you 30 million quid. Do we want a Hayden Hackney who we don't have a big enough sample size, who might be the next Adam Wharton? He might not be, but it's going to cost you 35 million quid. Or do we spend that money on someone that we know might cost you 40 million quid, but like a Locatelli, like someone like that, someone like a João Gomez from Wolves, someone that we know we've got a big enough sample size? Should we be spending that 30, 40 million quid on those players or a Hayden Hackney?
Right, but I was talking to a old legend a couple of weeks ago, and I said Spurs haven't signed a major player since Rafa van der Vaart, in my opinion. I don't believe we have like a star, like everyone goes.
Marquee signing. Marquee signing.
A marquee signing. I mean, Xavi, look, I don't class him as a marquee signing. I class him as a good player. He's gone around the houses, right? I'm talking about a signing that all the fan base would go, wow, right?
I think all the fan base went wow with Xavi Simons. He just hasn't hit the ground running yet. If Xavi Simons was on 3 goals and 4 assists already, we'd all be saying that Xavi Simons was our next Rafael van der Vaart.
Massive marquee signing, right? I'm no disrespect to Xavi. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I
think he's a big name. He was a big name around Europe, mate. Massive.
Johnny.
I agree with Johnny on this one.
Still, Bale back on loan was enormous, was massive, and you know it would have been. You know, it was downplayed
at the end of his career, though, Luba. At the end of his career,
but it was still massive. Still, you know, we had Bale was coming back. He still scored 18 goals.
When we signed Klinsmann, signed Klinsmann as a fan base, we went mental.
Yeah.
When we signed Edgar Davids, I'll never forget it. I went to the pre-season game. He made his debut against Porto. It was an electric response he got. You know, you've signed someone special when the response is wild. The only other player that got that was Van der Vaart. They're the only ones that remember.
Xavi Simons came in. He came in at the end during it. Was it an international break? We had to wait 2 weeks for him, so it was all a little bit kind of. It's a weird environment. In my opinion, when we signed Xavi Simons, Twitter went mental. Twitter like, wow.
Hey, 5th choice. Let's not make any bones about it. It was Morgan Gibbs-White, right?
Twitter went mental over Solanke.
It was Morgan Gibbs-White. It was Eze. It was Morgan Rogers. It was Akalouche. It wasn't first choice Xavi Simons. Let's not kid ourselves.
That's because of the circumstances of the deal. He was going to Chelsea,
didn't it? Or an opportunity arose.
Yeah. The same with Rafael van der Vaart. Van der Vaart wasn't a long plan. That was just an opportunity.
Sean, if we signed Victor Osimhen, you will see the response. You will see the difference. That is a signing where fans will go absolutely bonkers.
I think maybe the difference being there that Xavi Simons is 22 years old, right, and has had a couple of seasons.
Signing. He's a good
I think
player.
To those people that are familiar with European football, I think Xavi Simons was a marquee signing. But I agree he doesn't have the legacy.
Eze would have done it for us. If we signed Eze, I think that would have done it for us. The fans would have been just.
Will Son come back in January? Yes or no?
No.
Interesting. Does Eze think his time at Arsenal so far has been a success?
No, Eze's been rubbish so far at Arsenal.
Bad move for him. That was a bad move. And
it's going to get even worse for them if they can go and sign Rodrigo. But let me ask: would Rodrigo be a marquee signing?
Yeah.
He hasn't Johnny's not scored in 29 games.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
What?
0 in 29.
Perfectly. He'll fit in perfectly. You can
Would
have
Savino have been a marquee signing, or are we just attaching?
No, I'm
it's
talking
not
about
marquee, no.
if you ask most Spurs fans and you ask them who's the last great signing apart from your Bale returning, many fans, not
Van der
all,
Vaart.
I think
Van der
Van der
Vaart.
Vaart would be
Yeah.
that man. Okay, that's
Van
all.
der
I
Vaart
agree.
was brilliant. He
I
was
agree.
amazing. He was
I
amazing.
remember when I'm old enough, unfortunately, to remember how excited I was when we signed our Diaz and Villa. And I went down at the training ground and I spent the whole night cutting up bits of paper like they do in
Remember that match? Remember the Villa match, Johnny? First home game?
Mate, I went down there with a bag.
Everywhere. Paper in the air all round the ground.
Yeah, I spent all night chopping up bits of paper. I came into the ground with 2 plastic bags full of bits of paper. And then when they
These
came
days, they would have checked your bag and said you got to put it in the locker, mate.
Yeah.
You're not allowed it.
locker.
And typical Tottenham, we lost 4-1.
Yeah.
All right, let me just throw some names out then, right? So away from the marquee thing, last sort of 8 minutes, 7 minutes here. Actually, before I do, let me do some super chats real quick. We've done the age of one. Thank you very much. Ulrika Johnson's coming. Big up to you, Ulrika. Dry your bits, get out of the shower or out of the bath. We and some G and T. Big up to you, Ulrika Johnson. Thank you so much for the support. Choo choo to you. And Blaine has come back in as well, saying food for thought, lads. Could and maybe a stretch. But could you train Vuskovic to be a left-sided centre-back and move VDV to a left-back? That could be a demon left side. Listen, Blaine, I personally think that the Vuskovic right now, he's playing as a right-sided centre-back. He's right-footed. But there's lots and lots of top-draw left-sided centre-backs that are right-footed. Mark Gay, he's one of them, right? So for me, I just think that there is an option. If you let someone get embedded in their place and too much time, too much water under the bridge, it's difficult to shift them. If you get him to work on his left side and could hopefully play him as a left-sided centre-back, his value will be 3 times higher because it's already a scarce position. It's already a place where good players are thought of as being great. And with his talent, his skill set, I think he's good enough to be able to do it. If you play him there, I'm not sure if Hamburg will do that, but if you were to play him there, you might be able to get more out of him in the future as well.
He's nowhere near Van der Ven's pace, though, Sean.
You don't have to be. You don't have to be. You can't. There's nothing you can do about that. If you're going to play him at centre back either way, or play him in a back 3.
Yeah, and that's the answer. Play him in a back 3.
Yeah.
Play him in the middle with Romero on the right.
Yeah, I agree. We've got to talk a little bit about Ademola Lookman. He's probably the most realistic target, a target that we linked with a lot. But this week, his manager's been fired today, Juric. He has had a scuff and a bust up again. I had this conversation with Johnny earlier. So free for all, whoever wants to take it on for the last few minutes. Is there too much of a question mark about this guy's relationship with his managers? This is the 3rd bust up he's had, 3rd or 4th bust up in a couple of years. Gasperini, Juric twice, the guy before Gasperini as well.
I'll answer that first. For me, if I've got a choice of spending 40, 50 million, I'm not spending it on Lookman. If Odegaard carries on improving, then I think you stick with him, you stay with him, and if he keeps on this upward trajectory, why buy Lookman? Sorry, it can't all be about now. Not everything can be about now. If you've got good kids coming through, you give them a chance, they're going to get better and better. Fergie did that with his players in 90, 91, 92. He brought them through and they improved and he built a fabulous team.
What happens if he gets injured?
Sorry?
And he gets injured, and then what have you got? Nothing.
Well, hopefully you've got players like Thompson coming through.
You can't.
Why would you not sign Lookman? He's quality.
Lookman,
is he quality?
Yeah, Lookman.
Lubo, every week you slag off how shit the attack is, saying Frank hasn't got a chance in hell because the attack is.
I want better than Lookman. I want better than him.
Well, a guy who's got he's
better than any other wide player we've got other than Kudus.
I'm going to finish saying, Mania for me knocks Lookman into a corner every day of the week.
Yeah, but the question was, would you sign Lookman all day long? all day long.
All day long for me. You send him on loan. You take him on loan for 6 months if Atalanta accept it. The reason why the Inter Milan deal didn't go through, Inter Milan wanted him. That's how bad he is, because he had 3 fantastic seasons on the trot. Not one season wonder. 1, 2, 3. He's Prem proven. He's got pace. He's got power. He's got goals. He's got assists. Yeah, he's a badass. But you know what? If Atalanta allow it, you take him on loan with an option. And if he works out, then you can look at it, because you're looking at 35 mil, 40 million tops. I mean, I would take him. Look at the money we've wasted on Johnson and Solanke and Richarlison and the likes. I'd take him on loan. What about
you? Take this guy. Would you take Karim Adeyemi from Dortmund? Unbelievable player as well. Unbelievable pace. Unbelievable trickery. He hasn't got the physicality that Lookman's got. Lookman's not super strong, but he doesn't look very strong. But he's a strong player. Lookman.
We need.
That's right, and I think Lookman's going to the AFCON as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't sign players because they're going off. We are going to.
It's only a problem for this year. It's only a problem for this year. In 2 years' time, the AFCON is in the summer.
We can't sign a player because they're at AFCON. We can't sign a player because they're not good with the manager. We can't sign a player because of their age. We are limiting the pool of what we can go for, that we can end up not getting anything.
Jurek grabbed him by the neck. Could you imagine, right, if a player came off and Thomas Frank grabbed him round the throat in front of, and was like that?
It'd be tapped.
It'd be absolute murders. You can't do that, Lubo. Right? I saw the text and I was expecting that's the end of it. I said to Sean, well, that's the end of the Lookman transfer. Then I saw all of the fans from Atalanta not going after Lookman, going after him, right? Going after Jurek.
And that might be the case in this scenario. And I agree with you, Johnny. I saw that too. But I'm just playing devil's advocate. I rate Lookman. I've always liked Lookman. Been on his side for a long time. But you can't argue with the fact that he has blown up. He has blow-ups and crash-outs with every manager he plays for.
Very racist out in Italy. And we know that Osimhen suffered from it. He complained about it. And the club actually made like a joke of it, which is why he left. For me, Victor Osimhen is the biggest shock of the whole summer. I thought he's going to a top team. And the fact that he ended up going to Galatasaray, to me, is absolutely baffling. Obviously, money talks, player walks. Somehow they found the money.
They've given him the world out there. Lubo, can I ask you a question?
A quick question, still. We've got 2 minutes, mate.
Yeah, if you don't want Lookman, and let's assume that we don't get Semenyo because he goes to another club, who do you want? Who would you go for?
Sorry, if he didn't go for Lookman, did you say?
No, if Lubo doesn't want Lookman, so if we forget Lookman...
I think he said Semenyo, didn't he?
Semenyo.
Let's assume we can't get Semenyo because he wants to go to another club instead, like Eze did to us. No Lookman, no Semenyo. Who would you then go for? What's the next choice? I
know he's injured till Feb, but then do we look at Fofana? For me, I for what I've seen in Fofana, I'd rather him than Lookman.
Well, he's injured.
Lookman had a fantastic match in the Europa League final.
Got a hat trick.
Yeah, he's got a hat trick.
Who would you go for? Sorry to rush you, because we've got a minute left for the show. Who would you go for? Fofana's injured. Right, he's injured though.
And Ndiaye. Iliman Ndiaye of Everton. He plays off the right, mate, but he's a left winger as well.
We really want to sign another injured player when we've got an injury crisis.
Yeah. No.
So who do we sign in January? If we can sign a left winger in January, let's say Semenyo's a no.
Right.
We don't want Lookman. Fofana's injured. Who do we go for?
Maybe
Antonio
Ndiaye.
Nusa.
Maybe Ndiaye. He looked very good when, he was right in front of us for the whole of the first half. I thought he looked really good.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ndiaye's very good. You've got Antonio Nusa. You've got Karim Adeyemi. There's loads of them out. You could go to Germany and get
another show.
What's that?
It's another show. We're running
another show. Yeah, we've got 1 minute to go. Guys, we're going to round it off there while saying massive thank you. I don't think I've missed any super chats. Big up to everyone that put in the super chats. I have put in all the links there, guys. Please do help out Stel with his new channel. Please also, I'm trying to find what I've just done with them all. They disappeared, have they? Or they just slot up here. All the links are there. You go. There's the Spurs Corner. Help Stel out. Hit that link. There's my channel. There is Football Inc. as well. And there is Lubo's. Where's Lubo's one? I just put it in as well. There's Lubo's Twitter thing. Guys, we're going to leave it there. We'll see you on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Until then, like, subscribe, and comment. Thanks, everybody. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Leave you out.
We're going to be unbeaten in the international.
My chairman.